County Commissioners to order. Please join us for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start today's meeting with a bid opening procedure for work on the women's work release facility that we've been planning. And we've collected one bid today from Thor Construction Company, 111 Northwest T Street in Richmond, Indiana. And we're going to open this bid right now and record these numbers, and then we'll continue with the rest of our meeting. Okay. Scott, now you explained this earlier. You needed alternates 1 through 9 should be in this.
Yeah, there should be a base bid plus a base bid with the contingency allowance of $40,000.
Okay. The base bid is $4,750,000, and with the $40,000 roof repair allowance, the amount is $4,790,000. Bid alternate number 1 is $110,400. Alternate number 2, concrete slab removal and replacement, $68,000. Alternate number 3, toilet and shower at program space, $63,000. Alternate number 4, aluminum canopy at ramp, $17,000. Alternate number 5, fencing at back alley, $12,100. Alternate number 6, stain, seal, concrete slab, $50,300. Alternate number 7, safety padding, concrete bunk slab, and door at padded cell, $50,000.
Sorry, did you say 50,000?
50,000.
Thank you.
Alternate number 8, dorm at southeast pod, $125,000. Alternate number 9, cells at northeast pod, $179,000. And there's nothing else in this we should officially record today, right?
That's fine.
Okay, we have 2 copies of this, one for us here and one for you. I think it's normal and customary, isn't it, for us to take these under advisement so
Yes.
that you examine them closely
Yes.
and see that everything's in order, and then advise us.
And if I may, as the apparent low bidder, you want to get your post-bid information to me? Thank you.
Okay.
I'll move to take it, table this, put it under advisement.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to take the bid under advisement and table it until further consideration. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, Scott, here's a copy for you. You let us know when you have looked that over and what your advice going forward is.
Thank you for putting your bid in. Thank you, and it takes time.
Thank you folks for turning in a bid today.
Thank you.
Okay, minutes from from our July 5th meeting.
Move to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve the minutes from our July 5th meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes. Department reports, Michael King.
The Rico copter for the assessor's office that you guys ordered, approved back in like February, was delivered last week and was assembled and put together yesterday, so they're up and running on that. But that leaves them with the large HP printer that they've been using for their big print jobs that they now no longer need. We don't have any need for that in the courthouse anywhere now, and it's old. It needs work. Probably looking at $300 to $500 in parts to get it working correctly, and we don't really need it anywhere. I just want to get permission to get rid of it. Either take it to the transfer station and dispose of it, or take it to storage out of the building you guys have outside of the courthouse. But we just don't need it. It's old. It needs work. We don't have any need of it. It's just really large. It's an HP LaserJet 9050. I don't know if anybody in the community can use it, but it's the size of the podium as far as the base, and it's about this tall. It's just a black and white laser printer. So
Will it do anything at all?
it's just a printer. It's not an all-in-one or anything like that.
Printer only.
It's a printer only.
Does it work at all?
Yeah, it does work. I mean, it just has a tendency toward jamming right now, and you have to fight with a little bit. That's why I said we're probably looking at anywhere from $200 to $500 for parts to get it working correctly, to where you don't have to baby it.
Yeah.
So for us in the courthouse, we don't have any offices that have need of it or have the space for it. We've used it probably a good 10 or 11 years between the treasurer's office. They used to use it for their statements before we outsourced it, and then the assessor's office has used it for years for their Form 11s and their big print jobs. So we've gotten good use out of it, but we just don't have need of it anymore. So
Okay, well, We don't need more of that stuff sitting around than we've already got. We could donate that to a not-for-profit. If there was one around that needed something like that. Right now,
I don't know of anybody, so that would be, if you happen to know someone, I don't have any contacts that.
okay. Well, we
have
could,
any or anything.
I guess we could put the word out that it's up for grabs if anyone needs it.
If that's the case, we would probably need to have it moved out to that building that Precision or wherever you got it, that building you guys have,
Yeah,
just to get it out of our way so it's not in the way of the assessor's office or, because we don't have anywhere to store it in the building really.
okay, is it sitting in the assessor's office now?
Yeah, it's in their office right now.
What do you guys want to do with that then?
Might move it out and save it for a couple months and see if somebody wants it and
It's fine with me.
If we
I'll
don't hear
talk to
anybody, then-
corrections and
trash it.
Think any of the fire departments would or anything?
We can check, I don't know. I know Glenwood down, they just got one here not too long ago, so.
I don't think any of the Connersville fire departments will just because they don't have any room for something that big, but maybe the volunteer ones might, I don't know. Like I said, part of the big problem is the footprint of the machine is just so big. It just takes up so much space.
Well, Jay, we've got room for it down there in that,
I knew that was coming.
that building we're putting equipment in for now, can't we?
Can we put it in one of them buildings?
Okay, we can do that, Michael. And then if we can't find someone that wants it, then we'll just have to dispose of it.
That's fine with me.
Scrap.
Okay. Like I said, we've gotten our money's worth out of it, I think, over the course of the last, it's been used the entire 8 years I've been here, and I think they bought it 3 or 4 or 5 years before that, so we've had it a good while, and it's done its bit. So,
Okay. We're gonna put that in form of a motion.
I'll move a motion that we move it to the building down south and out until we come up with somebody to take it or matter of time dispose of it.
Okay, we've got a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to move this large copier to storage until we see if we can find someone that actually can use it. And if not, we'll scrap it. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane.
okay, that's all I need. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Maintenance Department, Bill Gray. Bill, do you have anything for us today?
Yes, I do. Kevin and associate here from North Mechanical got the quote back on replacing all the air handlers at the jail. I put them in your box. You have copies of them.
Yes, we've got that.
I'll let
one.
Kevin come up and explain it. He's the guy that put the bid together. And if you have any questions, he'll answer.
Okay.
Kevin?
How are we doing today? So you have a copy, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to give you, up there. This is the equipment that we're proposing. We didn't have that in with the quote, just so you could kind of see what we were getting, what the brand was, what some of the features were, like I said, just so you had a picture with a brand name. So it wasn't just a brand name that was out there. So what this quote encompasses is all the supply fans, all the return fans, and all the exhaust fans over there at the jail, which are all the original fans at that facility from, what was that, 1988? 88? So we're replacing all of that, as well as we'll be upgrading the controls. You still have pneumatic controls, pneumatic actuators that open your hot water, chill water, and your damper actuators. A lot of those are still the original ones from the 80s as well, and so we'll be replacing those as well, and updating those to electric actuators. that are more reliable, and you won't rely on that old noisy air compressor down there running. And when the air compressor down there fails in the past, the whole jail goes to full heat, which in the summertime, that's not a good thing. So that will be updating the controls as well, tying it all back in. That includes electrical, sheet metal, insulators. We're carrying all those subs underneath us as well, so that's all included in that price. If you look on that quote too, there is a breakout. So the first page, you'll see that the price, that's the air handlers. As you go on back to the third page, they'll show you there's the price for the air handlers and then the control portion of it. That control portion of it is the valves and the actuators and all the updating of the controls as well, which would update you to the latest and greatest controls that you have right now. Also included with that is hot water coils and chill water coils. Some of the air handlers have external hot water coils that are outside of the air handlers, so we'll be replacing those coils as well, because those again are 30-some years old. So basically all the major mechanical in those rooms where the air handlers set is going to be basically replaced. So your fans would all have new starter boxes on them, so you won't have those old controls. So it's just basically it's refreshing everything to where you're not having to deal with as many breakdowns. You have a lot of issues going on down there right now. With this heat we've had this summer, we've not been keeping up real well in the cell block areas. And I think we went through those. We've tried cleaning coils. The fans are super hard to clean without pulling them out. Pulling them out is a huge, huge process. You would be down for days if we did that. And it's just not real feasible on those units. It just didn't make them very well to disassemble. So to get the fans out to clean them. So you're not getting a very good airflow in those cell blocks areas. So what we proposed also on here is we are increasing the CFM, which is the amount of airflow that you're going to get from air handlers 1 through 4, which does your cell blocks, all 4 cell block areas. So it will increase the airflow because you're just not getting the airflow out of your vents in that area. And then also, I think that maybe you are putting more people in there maybe than it was originally designed for. I can't say for sure, but I know that it's always crowded. The jail seems like it's always crowded. You always have more people in there than planned on. So I think that's adding to the equation, plus the age, the dirt. So we're also increasing the chill water coil size as well in those 4 air handlers to give you more cooling capacity so that you'll actually put colder air into those spaces. So we're hoping this will help your problem that you've been having with the complaints with the jail, with the cell block areas in particular. Everywhere else has not done too bad, but it's mostly those cell block areas that really tend to struggle. So, but again, all of that is original stuff. That's all original equipment. I think pretty much covers it. If you have any questions about the equipment, or you have any questions on the proposal in general, what we proposed.
Time frame for getting this project done.
So I think the lead time on the equipment is 30 to 35 weeks. And then from there, it's just a matter of the jail schedule on when we get word and, kind of their time frame on that.
Our plan was to, obviously we can't just go down and rip everything out because you can't not have airflow into your area. So our plan was to try to prep everything as much as possible, have all of our sheet metal transition pieces made so that everything's ready. When we drop one down, we put one back up, we can hook it back up and hopefully have it back going maybe the same day, if not the next day. So you'll be minimal, hopefully, downtime on especially the cell block areas, because that's your critical areas. The other areas can get by if they had to. It's not as critical, and the control room has its own separate unit. So when we demoed the control room air handler, there is a unit that we put in years ago for when we put the chiller and stuff in. When we had it down and you had no cooling in the control room, you still have a mini split system in there right now that will cool that control room while that unit's down. So you won't lose any cooling at all in the control room. It'll always stay cool in there. So you should be good. You should be good there. And we upgraded, last year we upgraded your main controller, your NAE, to a Distech controller, which was, I think I came and talked to you about it being an open platform to where we're not the only ones that can work on it. So you're not locked in to like one controls company like you were before. So we'll be updating those controllers as well, but there will still be a lot of the older Metasys controllers that will still be there. They still function fine. There's no reason to jerk all those out, spend that kind of money to replace them. We can replace them as they fail in the future, just one-offs. So, and we've had to replace a couple of them, I think, already. So last year we did a couple of them that had failed on us, and we had to replace them. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you have any questions, just look through here and see if there's anything I missed. I listed the air handlers. They're all listed here, the numbers of the air handlers that we're demoing out. And those are all, most of them are in the basement except for there's one up in the main area. It's like where the sheriff's office area is in that back hall. There's a maintenance room that has an air handler in there that feeds all of those offices up there. So that one gets replaced as well.
Back in booking.
Yeah, back in booking. So, let's see. Basically, we just did a rundown detail of what we're doing on each of the air handlers, which is pretty much the same. All the air handlers have chill water coils in them, so those will all be brand new. And all of them have hot water coils in them, and the ones that don't have hot water coils in them have external ones, and those will be new as well. So we connected the piping. It's basically pretty cut and dry as far as that goes. We'll hook back up to the ductwork that's there now. Everything is functional. We just need to get rid of the old equipment that's starting to give you some issues. So.
Okay. Kevin, the state, well, replacing this equipment has been on the commissioner's plate for a number of years. And the state sets they've got a standard for the amount of airflow we have, and they have a way of measuring that. With this new equipment, do you think we would be able to exceed the minimum standard airflow?
I can't say for sure without doing some kind of an engineering study to determine. The problem is the equipment that's there now obviously is not producing what it's supposed to be. So what we're doing is we went back to we took this equipment information, we went to the distributor, the Daikin, and they basically are like for like units, with the exception of 1 through 4 is going to get increased airflow out of it, as well as increased cooling coil size or capacity. So I would hope that yes, your airflow would increase. That's the whole goal here, is to try to increase your airflow back there in those cell block areas. So, because that is an issue. I know when we cleaned coils a few years back, and after we cleaned the coils and we had them come in and check, or they came in and checked, I think they still said that they were down below what their recommendations for that type of a cell block with the many people or whatever. It was not up to par, I guess you could say, as far as the amount of CFM. So my hope is that's why we increased it. That was our goal. So we're increasing it 20% over and above what you have now, of what you had 30 years ago when that was brand new. Yeah. So like anything at age, you've got coils that are that thick that once dirt starts getting inside it, it's hard to get that dirt out. And once you start building dirt up in it slows the airflow going through that coil. So you are reducing your airflow going into those areas. So that's why I say with new equipment, it should give you better airflow. So to say I'm 100% positive without having an engineer come in and do a study, that would be the only, and then them say, okay, here's what you need for what you have. That would be the only other way you could have any kind of guarantees that it's got to be better than what you've got now. We're increasing at 20%, and it's all got to be brand new and clean. So that's the other big factor. These have HEPA filters.
Are you,
These also have HEPA filters in them as
Okay.
well, which you currently do not have HEPA filtration. So for like the COVID guidelines and all that, so you're actually filtering more stuff out of the air than you are currently.
are you,
Sorry, go ahead.
are you familiar with the guidelines that ARPA funds are to be utilized when doing this kind of project? Are you guys familiar with that to make sure you're following guidelines on that?
What guidelines is it? I'm sorry.
With the ARPA fund, the ARPA funds are what we were planning to utilize for this project.
Okay.
And there are certain guidelines. Are y'all familiar with any of those
Yeah,
guidelines for that?
we've done projects before where we've had to go by the guidelines. before
Okay,
like
so you
that,
do
yeah.
know what those are. And
Yeah,
I know,
I'm
I think the
familiar with-
airflow is part of that.
Yeah, I'm familiar with their general terms, but they're different for every jail. Like as far as the actual sizing goes, you know, we would just need the numbers or the sizing for your particular jail, you know, to double check everything with. And we have engineers that can double check us.
So that's what I was
and
gonna
let
say,
us
that's
know.
something you guys would do to make sure that you're following the guidelines for that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
More questions?
No, this time, I don't.
Kevin, we made an attempt to get another quote on this work from another company
Okay,
quite some time back. And we spent a couple of hours with them here, and bottom line is they would not give us a number. You know, they wanted us to more or less sign an agreement, and they'd just send us the bill.
oh wow.
Yeah, so, you know, naturally, we can't do that. But the county attorney advises that even though we've done that, we're still not quite in compliance on this. Jeff, do you want to explain?
Sure. We just need to get 3 bids. I think we can attempt to get 3 bids because there might not be 3 companies willing to bid it, but we can attempt to get 3 bids. I think we need to reach out to at least one more company and see if they'd be willing to give us a bid.
And how long that will take, I don't know.
Okay.
But that's the situation we're in now. So I guess the only thing we can do for today is take your quotation under advisement, and then as quickly as possible, see if we can get another company to give us a quote. If they won't, we've made an honest effort. But I know that I know that your quotation here is dated, and I would like to be able to stay within that time period. But if it doesn't work that way, what happens then? Do you have to?
We just have to go back and get repricing again because like the times we're in, our equipment costs go up every 30 days. We're getting great cost increases on everything.
That's a really quick process, though. It's seriously an
Yeah.
email to the manufacturer. They respond with the price, whether it's the same or it's increased 2%, 7%, whatever it is. We could have you something back the same day that you requested it.
Yeah. If I remember right, your original quote, way back, that was last year sometime, I
A
think.
couple years ago.
Was 400, if I remember right, $428,000. So this one here for $440,204 is just an example of what it costs to wait on these things. Of course, if you go back 5 years, it would have been much less. So that's just the nature of things.
Well, if I'm going to be honest, Dale, the costs have gone up way more than what you're seeing right there. That is us trying to be extremely aggressive in our cost to try to provide something for you because you have been a long-term customer of mine, and hopefully for North as well for time to come.
Yeah.
So we tried to keep that number as close as we could, you know, to what we had given you 2 years ago. Typically, those prices would have probably been 30% higher easily, which would have been a lot more than that. So
Now you're scaring me.
that's our level of commitment,
Yeah.
that we're trying to help you and trying to get you a number that's more palatable, you know, and you know, we're not gouging you. Obviously, we have to make some money, but you know, our cost structure is the way it's set up and the way we price this is very competitive. So,
Right.
very competitive.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. North Mechanical has, and you fellows have been great people to have as partners in this thing. And we're, you know, I'm very pleased with your performance and your availability and everything else. So, under this circumstance, I guess we'll have to take your quote under advisement and then try to get something else done on a third quote if we can
Okay.
right away.
Okay.
And if what you say is true about the way prices have gone on this stuff, probably won't be hard to decide on this.
I'd be shocked.
I would be too, because like I said, we really tried to get it cut down to the bare bones for you.
Okay.
Because I know this has been a struggle for the county here for a number of years, and funds have always been difficult to come by with Connorsville and with the county here. And so I know that because I've been working with you guys for a long time. And so I know the struggles that you've had. And so the fact that you're able to even possibly entertain this is huge. So that's why we wanted to get things down, try to help you as best we can. So
The only reason this job wasn't done 10 years ago was because the county just didn't have the funding to do it. And luckily, when the ARPA funds came available, it can be used for these things, and that's when we, you know, picked this project up in all seriousness. So we've had those funds on hand now for a year, and so we need to get on this. So now, Tracy, you haven't seen any of the current equipment over there, this stuff yet, have you?
I was using the coolers.
The air handlers down in the basement.
I actually did with Bill. I think that's where we were downstairs.
I think we went in the furnace room. I don't
That was
think
the
we ever went
furnace
in the
room.
chiller room.
Okay, yeah, that's a different spot. I have
Okay.
not seen it.
Well, I couldn't remember if you had or not. I was just going to suggest sooner or later, you know, take a look at that stuff.
Right.
'Cause to me, Kevin, this stuff that's pictured here in these brochures actually looks different than some of the stuff we're going to replace them.
I'm sure it probably is.
yeah. Well, you got to keep in mind too, some of the configurations that you're looking at too on there, there's multiple configurations of the way that unit can set, and so it looks a little different than what you have right now. So, but they're basically they're going to do a better job of what you have now. Be more energy efficient motors. You know, obviously hopefully better airflow. But yeah, they are. But Daikin is the company that basically McQuay turned into. Your air handlers are McQuays that are down there now. So this is basically, it's not the same company, but it is in essence. So, but
Well, what do you think the lifespan is on this? I mean, like a lot of things, newer things, are built to last less time.
I think on an air handler, I think ASHRAE guidelines are 20 years, I
Okay.
believe. 20 to 25 years on most typical air handlers. So I wouldn't see why this wouldn't be an issue. Especially, you know, you're taking care of it. So, and that might bring up another question too, that, you know, when we go down this road, you might look at the possibility of, now that if we do put new equipment in, maybe we need to really look at the service contract and add the equipment to the service contract, because right now that equipment is not on the service contract. The jail, the only thing that's on there is the boilers and the chiller. So the air handlers are not currently on there. So that's all been up to Bill to take care of for all these years, and with everything else that he has to do here. So it might be something you might want to consider. You know, not that Bill doesn't do a good job. Bill's just overwhelmed. You know, especially since he doesn't have any help. So right now, so you know, I'm just bringing that to your attention, that maybe that's something we would consider. You know, going forward, if we replace the air handlers, too, be a good time to put them under the contract. That way, we can keep them under close eye, and you get the maximum amount of life out of them as well. So.
So I guess put together, give us a quote on that too, so next time we talk, we can kind of consider that. It's
Yeah.
a good idea, I mean,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
What's that?
So we can, Daikin offers some extended warranties on their equipment as well, and we can present a number on that for you as well. We send over the PM, just so you have it. Takes from 1 year, I think, up to like a 4. So we'll just include it, just so you have that information with you. You guys go to make a decision on it.
Okay, you wanna, how about a motion to accept this quote, take it under advisement? And
I'll take this quote under advisement.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to take the North Mechanical quote under advisement. And we'll take it from there. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. That's all we can do today, Kevin.
That's just fine.
We'll-
We're here to
we'll-
support
we'll-
you.
We'll stay in touch.
Yep. If you'd like us to come back and talk again, just let Bill know, or you can call me directly, and I can set something up. We'd be happy to come and
Okay.
if you have further questions or, you know, things that,
I don't have anything more today.
Okay.
Anybody?
All right.
That's it for today.
all right. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, you guys have a great day.
Okay. Bill, are you here for the ordinance?
Yep.
Okay. Nothing else?
Well, that's all I'm here for.
Okay.
And I think that's
All right.
also here
Highway
also
Department?
supporting with what Brad has in,
Okay.
proposing also.
Highway Department, Jay, do you have anything for us today?
Well, I got some papers for you, a few other things. Figure out where I put them at. This is a copy of what we're figuring on doing next, and this is what we've already done. That's just strip patching. We did some solid paving, but not much. We're trying to get as many roads covered as we can to make the money stretch a little bit. That's what was done already. You need to look at one, Jimmy?
Yes.
Don't lose my copies. If we keep going, they did 2 more roads since the 14th, because we had stopped for the rain, so we had to go out and get some trees out of the roads and fix some washouts and stuff like that, but we're moving along pretty good, considering.
Okay, so far this year, you've used up 2,166 tons of hot mix at $84.90 a ton, $183,908.
Yep.
I haven't been watching, but how much have you got left this year for?
We've still got, I didn't go back and look in the bituminous fund, but I know we still got a little over 100,000 in the 300,000 extra that I went to get.
Okay,
So we'll be all right. But we got, we was trying not to spend too much. We wanted to see what was gonna happen to the distributor truck. Cause that changes everything. We can use that thing again.
right.
And I got a call during the drainage board meeting that they'll either be down Thursday or Monday. They got the part they needed and they'll be right back down.
So they finally got the part.
Yeah, that's what they called and said. So we'll have to wait and see on it. We made some good improvements to some of the roads we've already strip patched on, made them a lot better than what they were. A lot of them had some bad spots on them, rough spots. Haven't heard any complaints out of them yet. A lot of them wish they could get the whole road paved, but to stretch the money, you've about got to get the bad spots and then go on.
So on your list here, things we got to do yet this year, this is all hot mix.
Yeah, it's all hot mix.
Okay.
But
so-
some of these things we can do, if we can use a chip box or an distributor, we can do some of it with it. We won't have to put as much hot mix down if we need to fix a spot and go over it.
Yeah. Well, according to this, according to your plan, you got about 13 miles of hot mix to do yet this year.
Yeah, but they're not solid mile. Well, the ones that are, you got about 6.5 miles of solid. The rest
Okay.
are all strip patch.
All right.
The strip patch goes, when you do a solid mile, it takes 1,009 ton of hot mix to do 1 mile. And that's a little over about $86,000 a mile. So if you can stretch it, do the other ones and just skip it around, you don't have to put as much down. Now, two of these they've already got done down there on this bottom list on strip patching. Gabbard and 550 is done. Because if we can't use the distributor truck, we still got over $400,000 in bituminous money and oil money. We can put that into hot mix too if we have to.
Yeah.
And then we figure out how much gravel we would use with the oil, and that gives us extra money for hot mix too. You just gotta figure out how much it takes for each mile you do.
You guys got any questions or comments for Jay on this? Okay, well, thanks for this info.
And as soon as we got a couple people off and vacation time, you know how that is.
Yeah,
It's to make us run short crews, so we're not getting a lot of bush cutting done. We're going to, as soon as we get some more people back, we'll get the bush cutter back out again.
okay.
I've got a mower man out to make sure he mows the sides of the road, but the trees are what gets us more than anything else, because a lot of places it looks like a jungle down to them.
Yeah, it sure don't take long for it to get that way either. The trouble with all that stuff is that stuff gets too high or too thick. These deer pop out of it right in front of you.
Yep,
You don't have a chance to see them.
that's all I've got.
Okay, thank,
At the corner of Country Club and Villa Drive, I had a guy call me yesterday. He says you can't see, and he don't know whose tree, if it's on the county. So if you could you look and let me know whose tree it is?
Well.
So I can tell him. He went to trim it, and I'm assuming it's the property owner next to him, wouldn't let him.
Wouldn't let him trim it?
Yeah. So
Then they
he
need
said-
to get out and trim it themselves,
He
it's
said
causing the problem.
brush has to be hauled off. And because he was just gonna drop it over into that little wooded area.
Yeah.
And the guy wouldn't let him, so he asked if you could look at and let him know if it belongs to the Villa people, the county, or somebody else.
You say it was
They're Villa
Country
and-
Club and Willow?
Villa.
Villa.
Those condominiums that go back in there?
Ain't that city?
No.
Yeah, I think that's city.
The Villa, the condominiums are county, because they're under Glenwood Fire District. So it'd be county. I think the city starts right there at that bridge, just.
Well, it used
east
to
of-
start up the end of the country club up there.
Yeah.
There's a sign used to be up there.
You know, they moved it down to about the bridge.
Give it back to us, didn't you? I see how that is.
Sounds good, he can have it back, that works for me too. That's all I got, okay.
County Surveyor Bill Mackey, do you have anything today?
Yeah, we've got some change orders. First one is with Community Crossings, got that yesterday. If you want to sign it, then I'll sign it, if I'm supposed to sign it. These are just copies of what they was able to cut out, 247,288.50 is what they cut out. Here you have
Okay.
another copy, Dale.
Yeah.
Then you want to sign it, David, then I'll sign it because I need to get it back to Jeremy Books. But that's what they was able to do. So I don't know, is that within the budget? I don't know what we had exactly. Pretty close.
Yeah, we had to do that change order in order to get the overall cost down to what we originally
Yeah.
planned on. And we've done all that before.
Oh, yeah.
How many signatures you need on it?
Just yours and mine. I'll date it and then I'll get it to Jeremy.
Okay.
And then,
Do we need to have a motion to approve that, or is that just automatic?
I thought,
and I've
okay,
got
we can
two,
do that.
two on Bridge 90. The first one, change order is just for time. All three of y'all need to sign it. It's just for time because we gave an extra month because of the utility problem. So we extended the time of the contract. That's what that's for. That's the first, that's no financial thing in that change order. It's just giving Rowe extra month. to
An
finish the
extra
project.
month on Bridge 90.
Yeah, up to October 15th.
Okay. Well,
Or,
let's,
November 15th, I'm sorry. Original was October 15th, now November 15th is their new finish date.
all right, well, let's stay official on this bill. Give me a motion to approve the change order on the community corrections.
I'll move, Chad, to approve change order on the community crossings. I agree.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to approve the change order on the community crossings project amounting to a reduction of $247,288.50. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. And let's have a motion to approve the change order on construction of Bridge 90.
Change order number 1, because there's gonna be more.
That will allow, this will be change order number 1 on Bridge 90, to allow an extra 30 days for construction. Is there anything, what happens if we say no to this?
State's already approved it, everybody's pretty much, I mean, it's already been through all the channels, so they won't get complete.
Yeah. We know they got a late start.
Oh, yeah. As long as it's done, the state don't want them to get into December. That's the main key, you know, is with construction. That's the whole thing. They want to get done by the middle of November because of weather,
Yeah.
so.
I'll move to approve the change order number 1 for the time.
From October 15th to November 15th, I'll second that.
We'll have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to approve change order number 1 on Bridge 90 to allow for a 30-day extension on construction time. All in favor signify by saying aye. 3 ayes. just me and you and Jim Reese on this?
No, all three of you probably need to sign it. All
Okay.
the commissioners probably need to sign it.
Just down here then. There's only two
Yeah.
spots.
Oh, there's only two?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Just you and him.
Oh, okay. I thought I had a place for all the commissioners.
Well, I think that first one had for all three.
Oh, Community Crossing has all three. Yeah. And this is the second change order. It's for also Bridge 90. It's for a turbidity fence. It's a fiber fence that we've got to put up. It wasn't in the contract. We pay for silt because the state wants this up when they doing the pilings, and then when they pour all the piers and stuff, it's just a fiber fencing that's got to be in the water so all the silt and stuff doesn't get out in the stream. It contains it right in one spot. And this wasn't, it's for $6,107. That's what the cost, that's the cost of the fence and their, and Rose, labor, a little over $6,000. It wasn't in the contract because originally they didn't put normally they do coffer dams in order to block the water. That wasn't put in. So the soil guy from NDOT demands that this turbidity fence has to be up because we just can't put all that concrete and silt and everything in the water. I mean, not let it go downstream. It's gonna have to be contained and it'll just settle stuff. But this has to be when they, in fact, they're doing the pilings now, I believe, you know, and then all of this has to be put up that way. So it's just something that the state's requiring. And it's not in the contract, you get 80% of it paid, so I'll just have to pay it all out of King Bridge. Just an additional charge, $6,100. It's either that or he was gonna stop us.
How did they miss that?
I don't know. Well, originally, on the coffer dams, the high water mark should be a lot lower than it is. There's something going on up there with it, where the water is staying way higher above. You know, when he was down here 2 or 3 times, the NDOT erosion guy, the water was way higher than it should be. You go downstream, it's this deep, under the bridge, 3 or 4 feet deep. So there's something that's ate out under there to where the water is just getting deep before it can move on downstream. So under normal circumstances, when it's dry, the water, it wouldn't have been an issue. And now that whatever's going on, they require this, because normally that's why they didn't do a coffer dam in the original design, because it wouldn't have been necessary if everything was moving like it should. In fact, we thought there might have been beavers down the creek, and Road Center guys walked all the way down almost to Roberts Park on the creek, and there was no beaver dams or nothing. When they got down there, a little far south, they said the water wasn't 2 inches deep, but it's 3 or 4 feet under the bridge.
That's just a low spot in the stream bed, is
Which I
all
don't
it
think
is.
you can dip it out.
We used to swim in water holes like that,
Uh-huh.
you know, that's.
But it was staying way above, even after, we didn't have rain for a month, and it was still above the high water mark of normal. So that's one reason that we have to do this. Normally, we wouldn't have, but, so,
Okay, so that's gonna cost us,
$6,100, and it's right there on the front page.
$6,107.
Yeah, yep. That's for labor and the cost of the fencing.
Okay. Well, we don't wanna give up on the bridge, is this.
I'll move to approve the $6,107.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve change order number 2, resulting in $6,100,
6107.
6107, to the, this is gonna come out of the bridge fund?
Q Bridge.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Right.
Now, who all you want signing this?
Just you and I.
Okay.
No,
I'll get you a copy of everything.
thanks.
We saved when he called.
Alrighty,
There
thank
you
you.
go. You have anything else today, Bill?
Not anything else.
Okay. Well, keep us out of trouble on that bridge contract. County Attorney, do you have anything for us today?
Not anymore.
Okay. Anyone have any mail they need to share?
Nope.
Okay, under old business, we have the solar energy ordinance that's still under consideration.
Well, I ask that you no longer have it under consideration, because those two amendments that were suggested by the city council, you agreed were reasonable, as they adopted those last night. So if you adopt those, then it's just a matter of the next area plan commission meeting, area plan commission, and I'm going to recommend that they agree to those changes, come back. And it's just a letter I provided to the sample letter to both the city and then also the commissioners to explain why that was amended. And so it's going to just be a matter of them formally with the area plan commission approving it. So then I'll just, then this is going to require another action on your part. And what I will just do is then the staff report that goes with it to both the city and the county stating that it was accepted. And that's pretty much it, and Jeff?
Sure.
Okay, so last night, the city council approved 2 amendments.
Yep.
So now it has to return to
Yep.
APC, for the APC to approve these amendments.
Yep. Well, all they have to do is agree or disagree.
If you were to approve the same amendments, then it would return to the APC in its entire form, and it would be a county-wide ordinance if approved by the APC.
Okay, so once the APC does what you need to do with these amendments, then you will bring it to the commissioners?
No,
I
I'm
don't-
saying right now, you approve the same 2 amendments they made. You just essentially make the same 2 amendments.
See,
It all goes back to the APC with a favorable recommendation pending those 2 amendments from both the council and the commissioners. APC approves it next Thursday, and it's,
Okay,
and it's out of my life.
Well, in that case.
Yes. Well, at least this part of it's out of my life.
okay, do we have, yeah, I saw those amendments a long time ago, I don't have them. Well, I saw the suggested amendments, I haven't seen them in the
Okay,
form
well,
that they took.
let's make it formal, I'll read them, okay? Okay, so the First Amendment is a new definition for standalone solar energy system. Okay, the solar panels of a standalone solar energy system are not connected to an electric grid, but instead are used to charge a bank of batteries. These batteries store the power produced by the solar panels, and then the electrical loads draw the electricity from these batteries. That's just a new definition because that was lacking. Why it was lacking, I do not know. And the second one was related to the, with the microsolar energy system. So there's one change that was added to it to just clarify when a permit might be needed for a standalone micro system. And that's micro-scale solar energy system. A solar energy system that occupies less than 120 square feet of panel. Standalone micro-scale systems are exempt from permits unless mounted on an occupied structure and are permitted in all zoning districts. And so that cleared up the language. That was the concern of Councilor Collins, and is a perfectly reasonable request on his part.
Yes, I had certainly no objection to either one of them. For the purpose of record keeping, Jane, do you need a paper copy of those amendments?
Please,
Yeah, okay. Thought I emailed those to you. Okay, never mind.
you might have.
Yeah, well, I'll just get a new one to you, because what I had was just the sample letter, and then I also had a copy of the ordinance with those added to it. I'll just make sure you get a fresh copy then, Jane.
Okay, so by approving these amendments today, we can wrap up Commissioner's involvement in this.
That's correct.
I move to approve the amendments.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to approve the two amendments that Bill just read to the solar ordinance, and don't we
And
need
you
to
approve the entire ordinance
Yeah.
with those two amendments.
okay, approve the, let's start over again. I can't remember what the number of the ordinance is.
Okay, I had it on a copy previously, but not this one, because this is the new one with the language. I don't have the
Solar
ordinance number.
amendment, the solar ordinance as proposed by the APC with the two amendments advised by the council.
Okay, but at some point, we will assign a number to this
Absolutely.
ordinance.
Absolutely.
It'd be 2022-02.
2022-02. Okay, we'll start over again.
I move to approve ordinance 2022-02 with the two amendments made to them.
And I'll second that.
Pretty good.
Okay, we have a
Any
motion,
more twos in there?
we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to approve ordinance number 2022-02 with the amendments as approved by City Council. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane.
Thank you.
Bill, we hope you can put this thing to bed now.
There'll be more coming.
Oh, don't say that.
Well,
Just not with this.
just no solar, but you're gonna get
Yeah,
more.
yeah. A lot of cleanup work and a lot of changes that we're working on. So what's gonna happen is with those is right now, Gary Naylor and Brian Durham are making some advancements on some of the things that changed. And then the primary one, this is gonna free up my time to really dig in as much as I really need to with the permit system. So that will now be my focus.
I would say over the next couple months, expect changes to special exceptions, like home uses and things like that. And then parking is another one. We have a pretty difficult ordinance as far as having a facility and the amount of parking spaces that would be required for that. Kind of, they're not, I don't want to say unreasonable, but they're pretty difficult to obtain.
Yeah, I'd say they're unreasonable.
Well, I wouldn't, because you may challenge that, yeah.
Yeah, see.
But they're difficult, yes.
Yeah, because those standards are based on a long time ago,
Right.
because it was adopted in 1993, because at one time with excessive parking standards, particularly with commercial retail uses, it was based on one day. And this goes back to because the one biggest shopping day before the Black Fridays was Christmas Eve. Then you had the Black Fridays. Now, of course, with everything that happened, especially with this, things have changed dramatically with sales and parking requirements. Okay, and I won't say anything more.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
So,
Okay, well, thanks.
we'll get there.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Are you
Or
sure I
letting
cleared
in the
that up?
water.
That's good enough for today. Okay, under new business, Mr. Brad Coulter, representing Connersville City Utilities and Street Department, is here today.
Howdy.
Ow.
Thanks for sticking with us, Brad.
No, it's okay. I actually had two things. One of them you know about. The other one I'm going to ask while Jay's still sitting here so he can nod and tell you that I'm telling the truth. We're working on a culvert at Gray Road and Country Club just north of it on Gray Road. And I had called him out there to get his expertise on culvert repair. And he said that you guys had piece of an old tanker, what you call it.
One on the bypass out there.
The one laying alongside the fence row down there?
That would work perfect to fix that one that we're getting ready to repair. And so I'm here to ask you if it's okay with y'all if we use it. And if you want to think about it, if you want to think about it a little, that's okay, because I know I kind of surprised you with it today, but
Is there any place you need it?
No, I can't think anywhere we need it. It's actually, for a tank car, for what we use, is smaller than what we usually normally use. It's probably a 5-footer. I think that's what I figured out, 5 foot, something like that. You can almost walk underneath, walk through the inside. But it was the one in that, creek bed right through there, it backed all the brush up. We took it out because it kept stopping the water up, and it kept running out of the road. But he'd get better use out of the weekend.
That thing's been laying down there for a year, hasn't it?
Well, not quite a year, but it's been laying there a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I say it's good idea to let it be made useful. So I'll make a motion that we do give that, whatever that's called, tank car to the city to use for this.
utilities gonna do the
Utilities
project.
project down there on Gray Road and Country Club Road?
It's on Gray Road, just north of Country Club.
Okay.
Down in that big ditch right there? No second.
Okay, we have a motion by Tracy and a second to gift an unused tank car to Connersville Utilities. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
There you go, Brad.
Thank you very much. And thank you for suggesting.
Now, I know you're here to talk about the construction standards upgrade, and could you go through all this again so that Tracy and Dale are hearing the same thing that I'm hearing this time?
So probably over the last year or two, we've been thinking, talking, and planning to upgrade the area construction standards. When we got into, in particular, that development up by Walmart, we found out that we had a lot of gray areas there that we needed to work on. So I started talking to everybody to see if everybody was on board with going through a process where we would really look at them good and try to make sure we get it right. There's a couple of different things. The materials in those are outdated and antiquated. Not only does that need to be updated, but just the processes.
It's devoid of any processes, we'd really like to have those for everybody. That's it. So, time comes, Brad isn't here, I'm not here, processes will be in place.
It will include fee schedules for developers that we generally charge, and generally they pay, but we don't have anything in writing about how those are handled, review fees and different things that are that they expect and are charged everywhere else, but we don't have them in our standards. So
And it would be beneficial for the county also,
Yeah.
because I don't have anything with those plan review fees either.
and it will just, we want to approach it comprehensively, let area planning be a part of it, utilities be a part of it, Bill himself be a part of it, who am I forgetting? Just, and the commissioners, of course, just to get those things in a state that they're not very user-friendly for developers. And, you know, he's going through his permit situation, and that's going to go right in line with what we're doing with these, and sort of include that whole process. When somebody comes to Connersville and Fayette County to try to do a project, they'll have a lot easier go of it once we get these updated.
Help me remember, didn't you tell me that there's items like even newer types of building materials and things were even included in all this?
Yeah, plumbing materials in particular for the utility side. And I don't, just a lot of things, like there are new drainage techniques that are used nowadays that weren't included in those old standards. So every time we get a proposal from a developer, we have to go through all these gray areas and make decisions where when we get an upgrade in these standards, it'll be right there. It'll be more clear what they need to do.
There's one thing that this would do, it allows flexibility from who's designing to, by having it as a performance standards rather than an absolute, it must be this, it must be that, it must be A, B, C, and D. So they can justify then through their calculations of this is what's necessary to meet the requirements for whether it's stormwater drainage or anything else.
When we did this most recent development, I bet I had 150 or 200 hours in that, looking over, negotiating, talking about with the developer and the engineers, mainly because there were just so many gray areas and antiquated things in those standards. And they're only 20 years old, but that's anybody that does plumbing, everything's changed in the last 20 years. And drainage, things with drainage techniques have changed a lot too.
Because what we currently have requires everything to be a hard engineering solution rather than some type of, I guess, green solution, which is to, ideally, quite often, that will save money by having a green solution, which is essentially what they did up there at the development up there for the stormwater. More percolation rather than having to build ponds.
So the process would be, we would have like a kickoff meeting. Anybody that wanted to be involved in taking a look at this could be involved, and everybody will have a chance to be at the table to make sure this all turns out like we want it. The redevelopment commission and the Board of Works on behalf of the utilities have already agreed to pay 2/3 of the cost, which is, the cost is $30,300, I think. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe that's it. So your part, if you're willing to help us with it, would be approximately $10,000. And it's about we asked Westlers to propose it because they do our drainage reviews and a lot of engineering review for us. So they're the most familiar with the process and with our standards. I think it'll make it a little easier and quicker.
What firm did you say it was?
Wessler Engineering.
Russell?
Wessler.
Wessler, okay.
She estimates it's about a 4-month probably process to get it all, to meet and talk about it and get it all put down on paper.
So Bill, do you plan to represent the county in this effort, or?
Yeah, that'll be one of my new things.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Since it relates directly to a lot of the things in the subdivision standard, so yeah, without a doubt.
I think I sent you all a copy so that you could see them, the most recent standards, and they're really in the weeds. I mean, you're really getting into the details. So it's not I wouldn't say it's an entertaining or enjoyable process to go through this, but it is something that's necessary.
Well, a lot of things have changed over the years, for sure. Okay, I think we probably got $10,000 in contractual services or somewhere. The auditor's pretty good about finding it when we need it. How do you feel about this?
Kind of have to do it.
Yep, it's necessary. Pretty good. What's to do?
Yeah, it's one of those things we really need to stay current on, for sure.
We'd be paying 1/3. I'll move a motion, we pay 1/3 of this claim from city utilities to Westlers out of other contractuals. Is that how you want that worded?
She's not listening.
No, I was actually, because we have money in the county planning line of the edit budget. You know, there's that,
Yeah.
there's like 50 some, if there is enough there, would you want to pay it out of that line?
That'd be fine.
So make that change.
I'll move that to that.
And the amount was 10,100, or around that figure. I'll second
I'm
that.
sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
Well, you won't forget to send us a bill, will you?
And it could be a little less, maybe I think that number was not to exceed, so.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to pay 1/3 of the cost of this construction standards update to Westler Engineering. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. Now, while you're here, Brad, we're still awaiting word on the feasibility study that we ordered on the water system out there on 300 North. Have you heard anything from these people?
No, I had thought they must be communicating with you guys directly or somebody. No.
The last communication we got from them, they said that, or that I've seen, they said that their feasibility study was 60% complete, and they sent us a bill with it. Do you remember that, Jane? And I haven't seen anything else since then.
Let me check on it then.
Okay,
I don't have any more information, but let me check on it, see.
all right. Well, they've had no communication with us that I'm aware of, certainly not me.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll let you know.
You got anything else for us today?
That's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, well, thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Okay, the Butler Fairman change order that you have on the agenda here, Jane, was
It's the
that?
same one Bill just did.
Same, okay.
I can catch him real quick, I'm sorry.
Is there any patron concerns today?
I got one question for one of them two. How are we coming on our signs? Where are we at with that?
He's got them ordered, about all we know is about,
He got them ordered, got them all marked,
Wait
but he ain't got none located yet. He's waiting on the signs to come in before he locates them.
So what happens if the signs don't get here and our deadline gets here? What happens then?
He's in charge of this project.
I have to look all three of them.
I know it's getting down to the deadline, but we got till the 31st of August, so we still got about 6 weeks. Hopefully they'll be here, we'll get them all uploaded.
those are good eye counties, we'll get it done.
Yeah, and that's what too, and I don't know what the ramifications will be. They never did put that on here as the penalty. They just said, here's the deadline date.
Well, it looks like they've got all the bridges marked for the location of the signs.
He's been out marking them all. All you gotta do is call them in, mark it right down where they're at.
Well,
So they only give you like 3 weeks to get them in the ground. If you call them all in at the same time, you're gonna run out of time before you can get them all in the ground.
He's fast.
He ain't that fast, that's
That's all I got.
I could have Bill following around with a big stick, he might get it out.
anyone have anything else? Okay, I guess we're ready for claims and payroll.
We've got approved claims and payroll.
I'll second that.
And we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to approve claims and payroll. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane.
Move to adjourn.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you all very much.